Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some of the basic scratches that you can use to add real percussive elements, musicianship and skill to your DJ mixes, but also that you can use to work together as an ensemble or a small band to create your own music. This is something we do at DJ school in the studio and we call Beat Team. It's a lot of fun and it's got some basic techniques I can show you here. I'm not going to claim that you're going to be an amazing scratch DJ after this, but it's going to give you the things you can practice to learn the steps you're going to want, learn the techniques you're going to want in the future. First and foremost, I'm going to need to search and find a certain sound on my computer, which we will use that one. And I'm going to go back to my tutorial videos and we're going to choose a bit more relaxed hip-hop track that we made, simply because hip-hop is at a slower tempo and it's a lot easier to scratch basic scratch techniques at a slower tempo. That's no reason not to try them over dance music, drum and bass and everything else. It just makes it a bit easier to get started with. So track 2 at the moment, up here and down here, is a backing track. If I press play, we've just got a steady beat. I might slow it down even more. Lovely. Cue, back to the beginning. Track 1, this is a sample set. If I press play, first and foremost, that's it, we've run out. Press Q to get back to the beginning. Beep, cur, just feel it, good and fresh. Those are classic scratch samples that DJs have been using since these techniques were invented decades ago. First off, what I have to explain is, once again, you hear the sound when the picture passes this white line, and you are in charge of the sound using this platter. When we look at the platter for scratching, we think of it as a clock face. Noon at the top, 3 PM, 6 PM, 9 PM. And the best position for your hand is first and foremost get the sound right up to the white play line so that the tip of the sound is going to be heard if you move 1 millimeter more. Then you put your hand at 9 PM. From here, I can move forward the tiniest amount and hear that beep. I can then pull back to 9 PM and I'm back at the beginning of that beep. This is essential. It's how you start to learn control of the tip of the sound. Notice my hand hasn't moved from 9 PM on the platter. It's the platter that's moving underneath it. I'm keeping control while hearing the same part of the sound. It's essential to get that control. Also notice this is happening before the song or the sounds are actually even playing. If I do the same thing and this time press play, then when I let go, they're off. I need to bring it back to the beginning to get that tip. I need to have full control from 9 o'clock to play the tip of the sound and then let go to let it play. Now notice, if I now pull my hand backwards, I'm no longer at 9, I am at the tip of the sound. So I've done something wrong there. What's far superior is to hold your fingers at 9 o'clock at the tip of the sound, and when you play the sound, although I'm going to use my right hand, please don't worry about it too much. What I need to do is imagine how far round this circle has gone, how far round the sound has gone in this circle, and move my left hand to that, then pull back to 9, and if I've got it right, I'm back at 9 and at the tip of the sound. It takes practice, but a little clue to help you with it is this line up here, because as that moves, I can see it's moved, let's say, from noon to 2. So if I move from 9 to 11, that's much better. This is giving me nice control. It's known as the forward scratch because what you can hear is me playing the sound forwards and then bringing it back to 9 to get back to the tip. Notice I'm moving my fingers to follow the sound. Easy enough for now? Look, couple of other things to mention. If I move slower, I get a lower pitch sound. If I move faster, I get a higher pitch sound. So I can already start to scribble, which is what we call one-handed scratching, where we manipulate the speed of the scratch while we're doing the tip and combining it with an occasional playing of the sound we'd call the forward scratch. Okay. So far you may have noticed I've only used one hand, and I'm right-handed. This is my bad hand. The reason for that is the right hand is going to use the crossfader over here. What the crossfader does is turn off that side. So all it does really is start to transform this sound. If I move from the beep to the cur, slightly longer sound, you'll see that I can tap this on and off. And I can start to build up rhythms in my scratches. The combination of this and this is what builds up all the other scratches you may have heard of, from orbits and flares to boomerangs and autobahns. But the basic technique of syncopating this rhythmic hand with this playing hand is what will drill you to get you used to being a very good scratch DJ. So, the first thing I suggest you practice is simply doing the forward scratch as it's actually intended, by playing the sound up to a point, then bringing it back, but not hearing the reverse. So you play it, shut the crossfader, bring it back to the point of play, and then open the fader again. If you get good at these, you can have real control over both hands. Then you could maybe start trying transforms, which is effectively the same control over here, but doing more rhythmic patterns over here. Next, I'm going to talk about tears. Now, tears is one of those contentious words in the DJ community, because basically what it means is manipulating the sound as it plays. Those are tears. But most people, or some people who are talking about basic scratchings, call these tears, because they're also manipulating the sound. As far as we're concerned, they're all tears. You play the sound, you scribble, or you tear the sound. But when you combine all those different techniques with rhythms here, you start to build up all the basic scratches. So just to recap, the tip of the sound needs to be under your control. Whether you hear the sound or not needs to be under your control. When you let go of the sound, if you move your hand round the platter as far as the line up here moved round its clock face, you're going to be able to bring it back so that your hand is back in the correct position at 9 o'clock when you're at the tip of the sound, which is going to give you more control in the long run. And when you've got all that together, you should be able to start practicing certain sort of patterns and things that suit you to start with. If I put the backing track on and have a bit of a mess. There we go. Now, a musical consideration. When do you actually scratch? Some DJs scratch all the time. It gets really boring really quickly. Some DJs scratch like musicians in space, in the music, listening to what every other musician's doing. they sound amazing. Really, think about everything your music teachers told you and everything you know about music, and find space and find nice places and nice sounds for you to scratch with that add to the music. Try not to just be always doing it. In a simple phrase, less is more. Do it well, do it short, make it sound nice. Of course, all the techniques we've shown you here on platter and crossfader can be done on CD decks, but because of the size of the platter, if you have access to and the patience to learn how to use vinyl turntables are by far the easiest for getting these scratches precise and the most musical they can be. However, they're also the most delicate and fragile format, so you've got to consider which is going to suit you best.